Hi, Eric Gibaud, ericgibaud.com, and today I'm going to present you a Micro Four Third lens, the Yongnuo 25mm 1.7, here mounted on my Olympus OMD EM5 Mark II. Let's start. So for a long time people ask me, what do you think of the Yongnuo lenses for Micro Four Third? And I could not answer because I'd never seen one, never tested one, never touched one. So it was hard to say. The only reference by Yongnuo I had, side of the flashes I have, but regarding lenses, is Yongnuo 50mm 1.8 for Canon, but the first version I tried many years ago, and it was really plasticky. For the price, quality was acceptable, but it was really plasticky, so I did not know what to expect. And honestly, spoiler alert, I think I'm really surprised in a good way. I was really surprised by the quality of this lens. Okay, so this lens, how much does it cost? If you look at it, it's a bit over 100 euros, $100 and something, and it competes with the Panasonic 1.7, 25mm 1.7, which is a bit more expensive than this one. Then with the Olympus 25mm 1.8, which is a lot more expensive than this one, and maybe the Leica 25mm 1.4, and it costs about almost six times this one. Okay, so it is where more or less where it's placed. Okay, so the focal length is 25mm, which is the equivalent of 50mm in full frame. The filter thread is 52mm. So let's look at the lens. The lens is plastic, okay, but it looks like a good plastic. It doesn't look too plasticky to me. You do see it's plastic, but it's not a lousy plastic. Okay, it's okay. Here you have a switch to have a manual focus and autofocus, and here you have one thing I don't like, two things I miss. One is Mr. Yongnuo, as you're probably checking the video, Mr. and Mrs. I don't know who it is, Yongnuo company. Why didn't get a sunshade on that? You could have included it because you're competing with other brand, and many people value like a simple sunshade. Okay, would be nice to have it included. Okay, and one thing I also didn't like, then we speak about everything I liked. Okay, is when you manual focus, the throw is really long. It takes ages to get to focus because it's long. So for some video people, many like that, and for photography they don't like it too much. So it depends on your taste. To me it's too long, but it's the way it is. They have some reason to do it this way. Okay, and also I like when there's an end, a lock at the end. So here I get to a minimum focus distance and then infinity, and it stops there, and there are no stops. It's continuous, same as a Fujifilm lens I reviewed, I published yesterday. Well, I don't know when you see this video, but I published yesterday for me physically today. Okay, yesterday, and it's there's no stop. I like when there's a stop. Okay, so let's speak about the quality. There is an STM autofocus motor. It is really fast. I was really surprised by the silence. You don't hear anything. If you want to use that for video, no problem. You will not hear the autofocus motor. It's really silent and fast. The only thing regarding autofocus, I noticed that when you're really close, the minimum focusing distance is 20 centimeters. Okay, counting from the sensor, 20 centimeters, about like this. Okay, oh yeah, about like this. Okay, and I noticed that it was hard to focus at such a close distance on small object. Here you have a fence. I tried, it was really hard, so I put my hand to focus on my hand, and then I took off my hand, and then it started to focus with no problem where I wanted. But to get it there, it was a bit hard for it when it was on close distance. On long distance or normal distance, I had absolutely no problem focusing, and it's silent, really fast, really good. No complaint on that. So when you buy a lens, obviously your first worry is the image quality. Will I get a good image quality even if the lens is affordable? Maybe we should worry maybe more when it's on a very expensive lens, and then think, well, it's expensive and the quality is not there. That's a problem. But when it's affordable, people seem to be worried more when they have less money to lose. Okay, but in this case, so let's speak about image quality. The aperture is from 1.7 to f22. So on 1.7 and f2, the sharpness is not there yet. It's acceptable, but it's a bit it could be better, but it's usual on that kind of lens anyway at maximum aperture not to have so sharp. But I'm so used to my Olympus that are really top sharp from a maximum aperture that I noticed it, okay, but it's acceptable. And you also have a bit of vignetting on 1.7 and f2, but 2.8 sharpness is fine and vignetting is solved, okay. So this is nothing you could not solve in post-production anyway. But if we look at the image straight from the camera, yes, you'd have a bit of vignetting, a bit lack of sharpness at maximum aperture up to f2.0, and then it starts to be really fine at 2.8. That's okay, and no problem. There is a bit of flare when you point at the sun. Well, many lenses have that. Mr. Yongnuo, again, please put me a sunshade in that, okay. Obviously you can buy a third-part brand sunshade, no problem. It would be fine to have it, and maybe it would help with the flare anyway. But it was a flare that is acceptable, okay. The weight is 150 grams. The size is really okay, no problem. So let's carry on with optical things. You've seen I've been showing you some picture, and I keep showing you so you can illustrate what I'm telling, okay. So there is a bit of chromatic aberration, really okay, similar to the Panasonic 1.7, okay, so acceptable. There is a bit of barrel distortion. I show you a seascape right now, and you see the horizon is not completely flat. At the end is a bit like going downside. Is it a problem? Well, if you do mainly landscape, that's maybe a problem. Normally you don't do landscape with that kind of lens anyway, with its focal length, but well, some people do, so it's there. It's a bit of barrel distortion. Obviously many people don't even notice this because they make picture, street photography or portrait, all this, and this is out of focus, so you don't really notice that, okay. But I have to tell it because I noticed there is a bit of barrel distortion. What I've noticed is that the colors are really cold, colder than when I use my Olympus lenses. Is it a problem? Not really, because you can adjust the white balance anyway, or in post-production or while making pictures. But if you're going to use two lenses, maybe it's important that you make sure the white balance is done, so you get everything with the same look, okay. But this happened with many lenses. I just say it's colder, okay. That's it. And some lenses are warmer. This one is colder, okay. Bokeh, which is the big question for many people who want to buy luminous lenses. How does it look? Do I get out of focus with a look that is really nice? By the way, there's a big difference between bokeh and depth of field. I'll give you a video I made about that. So let's speak about the bokeh, the aspect of this blurred part, the way it looks. And honestly, this is really nice. This is really creamy. What is people want to know, there's no harsh transition are soft. So if you were thinking of buying that kind of lens to work a lot out of focus, that is fine. As you can see this picture with flowers, obviously the flower is not top sharp because I'm 1.7. You can always sharpen it a bit in post-production anyway, but you can have a look at the bokeh. So conclusion, what do I think about this lens? Well, honestly, I'm really surprised in a good way. I don't know what to expect because the 50mm 1.8 I tried for Canon many years ago. It was the first version, was really plasticky. The autofocus was not really there. It was not that fast. I know they've bettered it since, but I never tried any other Yongnuo lens. I am really happy to have tried it because I'm positively surprised, and I think this is a great lens for its price. The term great lens for its price, sometimes you say, yeah, but if it's not important to me, the price, should I buy it? Could I buy it and be happy with it? Well, the thing is the following situation. If you have a limited budget, you could get this one or the Panasonic 1.7. But Panasonic 1.7 is really similar to this one, except the distortion is not there, okay? But really similar, it's a bit more expensive. So to get really maybe higher quality, it would be really do a big jump in paying. So in that case, I prefer to get the cheapest one because the result will be really similar. And very often when we compare sharpness between lenses, it's true we compare out of the box without post-processing, but with a little post-processing, sometimes sharpening just 10%, you get the same result and you saved a lot of money. So honestly, I think this is recommendable, and also for people who don't really use this focal length, but they still want to have a lens like this in the bag, but they don't want to spend 400 or 600 euros on a lens. So that's a good option. You get that in your bag and that's it. And to me, the results are fine. They are not the sharpest results, but I think they're really good. And for someone who doesn't want to spend too much money or cannot spend too much money, this is a really good option. Yes, I recommend it, taking into account its limitation on distortion, flare, all this. You need to know that. Many YouTubers review lenses and they speak about the good parts, never the bad parts. This one is not a really dramatic part, but I have to say it, that I noticed that, but it's very acceptable. I don't think it's any problem, okay? You can enjoy making picture and it won't be a drama because you see that, okay? You won't probably see anything anyway on that. Not you, but anyone. Myself, I had to really pixel peep and really check to notice that fringing or chromatic aberration and things like this, okay? So no problem, okay? So yes, I recommend the lens. So thank you very much, Yongnuo, for sending me the lens. I would love to try the 42.5mm for Micro Four Thirds. So please send it to me if you can, if you want. Okay. Thank you to you for watching the video. I hope you liked it. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The small button down here and also a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, gibaud.com. If you have any questions, can leave a comment below. Also leave you links of my gear on Amazon and links to where to buy this lens, links to all the gear I've tested by K&F Concept, and also links to other parts of my YouTube channel, and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.